and Kumbseela Naidoo.
And I'm KOOBESHEN Naidoo.
And we're delighted to be coming to you from sunny South Africa.
Yes, on this Women Empowerment Summit. It's global, it's online, and we're really thrilled to be here with you.
And of course, our segment is called Power Biryani.
Yes, the segment is also about power cooking, and we this power couple that love power cooking.
Absolutely. And of course, we have a television show here where we do cooking on television daily. And the idea, the concept behind the show is to show how important it is for couples to share a space, to come home from work, kick off your shoes, sit down with a nice glass of wine or a cup of tea, and decide what we're preparing for the family.
Yeah, because in certain communities that doesn't really happen. I mean, I prefer the old system where you just come home from work, you sit down, read the paper.
And the good wife serves you
lovely warm food.
Warm food. Well, not happening here.
Yeah.
So the concept and the idea that we try to portray to our viewers and hopefully to you today is to show you how this little space here can be such a warm and beautiful space to develop your relationship.
Yeah, because that's why it's called Love at First Bite.
Yes.
Right? But because in the older days, as children, the kitchen was the main area where families gathered and everything took place there. So we're trying to bring that back as well.
Absolutely. So all of our ingredients are fresh. All of our food is made with love. And so definitely the best plate of food that you'd have is in this kitchen.
So enjoy.
So we decided to warm you up today with some delicious, spicy fish biryani.
There we go. Fish biryani as a main. What's our starter?
Well, for the starter, we're doing a shrimp au gratin.
Okay, it's shrimp in some gratin.
So basically, it's a garlic mash potato, and it's shrimp, and it's most delicious cheeses to top it, and then it's all baked together. So it's an absolutely delicious favorite starter for our entire family. I mean, when we have shrimp au gratin, everybody loves it.
Okay, so we've got
the shrimp starter.
Let's go with that.
Yes, and are we ready to get going?
Yes, what do we need?
All right, so
I know what we need for the shrimp starter.
We need some shrimp.
There we go.
There we go. So the ingredients, of course, is some lovely shrimp. You will get this in your supermarket freezer. It's already done in a 400-gram packet. So we're using 400 grams here. And then we have some milk.
Right.
I'm going to leave this here. Thank you.
Milk.
Yes, so we have some milk. We have some olive oil.
Okay.
We have a lot of beautiful garlic. We've got some onion, salt and pepper. And of course, this is a really, really mild starter. It's very creamy. And of course, some fresh cream in the little jug.
Okay.
And there we go. We have potatoes here that we've cut into little blocks, and we've boiled in some salted water and a little pinch of sugar. And that's just it. We haven't added anything to it. But the potatoes are really well cooked, so a knife would be able to slide through it absolutely easily. So that's our potatoes all done.
Good.
And we are ready now to start with the bread. If you can pass me the bread.
Bread. Ordinary shop bought white bread.
So we have 3 slices of bread, fresh white bread. So all we're going to do, in fact, you can do this for me, is you're going to cut off the crusts on all 4 sides. And I'm going to get the onions into the pot. Right, so we've got 3 slices of fresh white bread.
Without crust?
Without crust. And then we have a cup of milk in here. So you're just going to dunk the bread in there.
Just put all 3 slices?
Yes. And so
will it fit?
Yeah. Just ever so lightly. It'll just, put the next one in. Right, just dunked in.
And what you're going to do with it?
Nothing. We're just soaking the milk in the bread. Go for it.
Okay.
There we go. So we got the milk soaking there. All right. So we get to our pan, heavy base pan. We're going to get some olive oil in here. All right. So just about a tablespoon of olive oil. And I'm going to put 100 grams of butter in here. It's a nice hot pan, sizzling. Wow. We've got the onions. That's 1 finely chopped onion. And you're going to start to give that a stir, please. Ooh, nice. So because our onions are so nicely and finely chopped, they're going to be done very, very quickly. As you can see, that's quite a lovely dollop of butter in there.
Yes.
And I am just going to put half a teaspoon of freshly crushed garlic in there.
Okay.
All right.
So here we go.
Right. And then we are going to throw our shrimp in there. How's that onion doing? Let me turn up the heat a little bit. Just another little bit of a saute.
So the onion needs to start getting translucent.
There we go. So onions are just not browned, they're just translucent. I'm just going to keep, is that hot? Sorry. Right, throw that in. And now we're going to start to stick in the shrimp. The shrimp has just been washed and drained. I've patted it on some kitchen paper just so that it's nice and dry. You don't want this to make your mixture very, very soggy. So there we go. Just a word of caution, wait for the shrimp to sort of shrink after it's cooked before you add the salt and pepper, because, what is that? You don't want to oversalt this. It can tend to be a little bit too salty, all right? So that's going to be done. As you can see, all the liquid is coming out.
Yeah, this is from even after patting it dry.
Yes. And then maybe about 2 cracks of salt. Ooh, nice. You're getting tired, sir.
How does this work, see?
Yes. How's that? I can see it falling in.
Yeah, it is. Is that enough?
That's more than enough. So while that is cooking, let's get started with the mash. We have got 3 large potatoes, which we have chopped up, and we have boiled with a teaspoon of salt and a little pinch of sugar in a pot, steaming boiling water. And then once it comes to a boil, then you just turn it on really low, put a lid on it, and just let it sit there so that it's still, you know, got all of its shape. And I deliberately did this because I wanted to show you that we just cut this into blocks. And then, so all we're going to do now is put a piece of butter in here. So this is literally
a piece.
40 grams of butter. Remember, our mixture, our shrimp mixture, is really full of butter. So I'm not going to worry too much about that.
Right.
I'm going to add some cream. Let's say 1/4 cup of cream. And then we have some milk that's sitting in our... Oh, it's absorbed ever so nicely. So if you had extra milk that was sitting in there, it would be perfectly fine. I'm going to put a little crack of salt in here.
Okay.
Ooh, nice. We did salt the potatoes, remember? So not too much.
Then masher.
Yes.
Our
go for it.
manual masher.
All right. Okay. So this is easy enough because the potatoes are soft. It doesn't actually need too much of muscle. Or does it?
You try?
Wow, very easy. Just sliding through ever so wonderfully. Right. So it actually doesn't need too much of muscle. But if you're weak...
Get out from here. You're sweating and pushing this thing.
Right.
It needs a bit of muscle. So you just need, once you get through the actual chunks of potato, it gets a lot easier as it smooths down.
Right. There we go. Almost done. Right. So as you can see, the mashed potatoes are really, really coming through ever so smoothly. You want your mashed potatoes to be completely lump-free. And to do that, you have to make sure that the potatoes are properly cooked. If they're not cooked, then for sure, you are going to get little lumps. But look at that, ever so creamy. Remember as well, we've added butter and we've added cream. If you don't want to do the cream, you could just go with milk. And while you're busy mashing there, I'm going to go on to the next step, which is take our bread that we have put into our cup of milk. I'm just going to mash this down. Are you watching this?
Oh, sorry.
Right. And oopsie, just drop that in there. That's our bread into the shrimp.
To thicken it?
Yes, but also just to give it some body.
Okay.
All right. So there we go. I'm just going to press that down. Ooh, nice. Right, shrimp moving along very nicely there. And then, just to finish up this mixture, I'm going to be adding some of the fresh cream. Ooh la la.
I'm busy, don't distract
That's a
me.
1/4 cup of the cream. And I just sort of
I think this is
mix
done.
it through. All right, so, do you want to look at this mixture? All creamy. Do you see the bread is completely disintegrated with the cream and with the
Well, it was softened up in the
shrimp.
milk.
Yes,
as
the
well.
butter, and of course, yes, as Koobeshen rightly says, it's softened up with the
Milk.
with the milk. So what you can do, and if you want to, you can just choose to add a little bit of garlic powder into that mixture if you want an extra garlicky kind of flavor. But because we're such a big fan of fresh garlic, I'm just going to put the slightest tinge, that 1/2 teaspoon, well, a 1/4 teaspoon of fresh garlic in there. It's just going to give a garlicky hint to everything. And
Would you like to have a garlicky hint?
there you go.
Yes.
So I'm going to turn this off. It's beautifully thickened. It's smelling so good.
Ugh.
And that mixture now is completely ready. And it's waiting for us to
Just mash it up.
just fill it in. Well, both of it. Wow. So there's all the fresh cream that's made this mash ever so beautifully creamy and fluffy. So well done.
Whew.
So what we have here are some clam shells, some large and some small ones, but I'm just going to use the 3 smaller ones. And what we're going to do is just pipe some garlic mash into those containers. And I'm going to give you the piping bag, and you can just fill some of your mash. I know you want to taste that. Taste it. How's that?
Very nice.
Wow.
Very good. Right, so the mash is done.
Oh, that's beautiful. So let's just put this in here.
This is
Scoop it in.
Oh, okay.
Right. Oh, nice and creamy. Wow.
Probably need another.
That's okay. Heavy enough to throw up. Right, a little bit more. So, of course, you do this just about before you serve this up. You can have your mash ready. Thank you. And you can have, there we go. Yep. And you can have the shrimp ready. All we do is we just...
Oh, you put all the shells on there.
Yep. We just pipe mashed potato onto our shell. Ooh.
That's a big shell.
Yes. I'm just doing one large one first.
Must have some lovely pearls in there.
Right. So here we go. Mashed potato just piped onto our shell. I'm just going to pick this up. It's easier here. Ooh, yummy. Little rosettes. Nothing fancy. Just to get it
so quickly.
Get it on here. And there we go. I'm just going to put the shrimp in. The mashed potato. We're just going to let this cover some of the potato as well. Ooh, yummy, yummy, yummy.
Yummy, yummy, yummy.
All right. And of course, if you want to put in extra shrimp, like we do for my son, because he simply loves the shrimp, then you just put less mashed potato, more shrimp.
More shrimp.
All right, so there we go. Shrimp's all done.
Has he managed to learn to say shrimp? Because he used to say shrimp.
I think when he was little, though. We have here some grated mozzarella. And I'm going to put the mozzarella all over. That's on the cheese.
And it melts and creates a nice little
Yes.
crispy blanket almost.
Yes, absolutely. So you could actually just literally brown the cheese on these as well.
Okay.
There's no cooking that's needed for the shrimp or for the potatoes. They're all beautifully done.
How's my grating?
Your grating is marvelous.
Yes, it's better than just grating on your nerves, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Anytime.
Get off your phone. You're grating on my nerves.
Right,
Stop watching soccer.
That's all done. If you finished.
No, there's a couple more.
So there we go. Now these, you could actually just microwave this just to melt the cheese, but nothing is nicer than a brown sort of coating, a golden brown coating. So we're going to stick this into the oven, and we're literally going to grill the tops for 10 minutes tops. So I think there's nothing as luxurious and as sumptuous as a spicy fish biryani. And I actually think that of all of the biryanis, fish biryani is just, it's a light dish. It's a satisfying and spicy dish. And certainly...
fishy.
Well, if you're a fan, a seafood fan, then this is your story, fish biryani. So we're going to start here. And I have a kilo of sliced salmon that's already been prepared by our fishery. And as you can see, the skin is on. They're beautiful slivers of fish. Ooh, this really looks good, right? So you could actually just choose to use any kind of firm fish for a biryani. You don't want to use something that's very soft, because the last thing that you want is for it to just all crumble and break. However, if you want and you have no choice and you want to just go for it and use the soft fish, that's fine.
Use tin fish.
You could actually. It will just crumble and break, but it will flavor the rice and it'll just be
you're getting
delicious
pieces of fish.
So you're getting like a layer of fish. So this is a layered biryani, a layered fish biryani. And so we're using a firm fish, anything, rockcod. We're using salmon. And the fish enthusiasts, you know what kind of fish to use. So I'm going to leave that up to you. And of course, if you're not sure, always just ask at your fish shop. They're very keen and they're very well, they're knowledgeable, and they'll be able to tell you which is a biryani fish.
All right.
All right. So we're using electric frying pan to do a one pot kind of dish. So the first thing that we're going to do is just get some oil into the pan.
Ordinary oil.
There we go. Ordinary sunflower oil. So quite a lovely dash of it. I would say we're going to put about nearly a quarter cup of that. And I've got the butter in here. I'm just going to make sure that doesn't splatter all over. So yeah, I'm going to say it's 200 grams of butter. And I'm just going to let the butter melt. And while the butter is melting, I'm going to add in my rings of onion. So I have got the onions, 2 onions cut into rings.
Every biryani that she makes, she has to put the onions cut into rings.
Yeah. So you don't want it to be, too completely mashed up if you chop the onions too fine. And because it is a fish biryani, we're going to use some slivers of pepper. I've got some robot peppers here, red, yellow, green. And I'm going to actually just throw in the whole tomatoes right now.
Cocktail tomatoes.
Yes. So you are going to start to stir fry this. And while KOOBESHEN is stir frying this, I have a pan on the stove, a little non-stick pan. And I'm going to put the whole spice into that pan just to toast a little bit so that we release the flavors.
Okay, so should I just leave this at...
Yeah, that's fine. And you can just stir fry. So let's get started with the pan. I've got my little spice caddy here. So I am going to put in 4, 1, 2,
As precise
3,
you have to count
4.
them?
Well, it is a recipe. So 4 cloves, sticks of clove. I am going to put 6 ilachi. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I'll get all
6 for him. And I'm going to put 2 of the little black alcha in there. I've got some cinnamon sticks. Ooh, yummy cinnamon.
What's black alcha?
Yes, I'm going to put 4 bay leaves in there.
And I have here sending you messages. What is alcha?
It's a little, almost like a black ilachi. You just ask for it in your spice shop. And I have some little methi seeds, which I'm going to put in here. Methi does very well. That's fenugreek seeds with any kind of fish dish. All right. So we're just going to toss this around. We've got it on a low flame. And that's going to be, in a couple of minutes, you're going to just get the aroma of all of that beautiful
It's amazing
spice.
how many Indian words, Hindi words, Telugu, Tamil words have made it into English.
Yes.
Like veranda.
Veranda?
Yes, that's an Indian.
Wow, okay.
Dingy.
Dingy?
There's quite a few.
Can I just interrupt you just to put
yes,
2
you can
teaspoons
interrupt me.
of jeera seeds in here?
Yeah.
So 2 teaspoons of jeera. And tell me more words. Dingy and veranda. A dingy veranda.
No, not dingy. Sorry, not dingy in like dark and dingy. Sorry.
Oh.
My wrong pronunciation.
Yes.
Dingy.
A dinghy, a little dinghy boat.
The boat, yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. So there's my little spices. I'm just going to make sure that they don't burn. You want them to warm. Do you start to get the smell of
the... English is my second language.
Yes,
that's
I know. What is your first language? Telugu.
Yes.
Telugu is your first language. All right.
Don't try and test me, please.
All right. So there we go. We've got the little seeds all just warming up here. So I've turned this off, and I'm going to ask you just to pulse this in the blender on the side, or if we want to use a coffee grinder, that's perfectly fine. But we can just throw this into blender. We don't need it to be absolutely fine.
As long as
you just want it to get
to blend,
just to release the spices. So there's our beautiful onions, peppers, our cherry tomatoes being roasted here. And I am going to put into our large chopper. I'm going to put the fish aside. Ooh. Right, so a fish biryani, we did say it's a spicy biryani. So it's 1 for a kilo of fish. How are we doing there?
No, I was just testing it.
All right, so go for it.
Okay.
We'll just, I'm going to count out the chili while Kabeer's doing that. 2, 3, 4, 5,
okay, this
6,
needs...
7. Are you done?
No, it needs to be
8, 9, 10. 10 chilies while KOOBESHEN's back is turned. And I have
you
here...
think my ears, when my back is turned, my ears are not working?
Yes. I'm going to put in 2 lovely sprigs of curry leaves. We get this from the garden. They smell absolutely beautiful. You can buy it at any of your greengrocers. You get them in almost all of the veg aisles now of your supermarkets. And otherwise, just try planting one of these trees. They grow magnificently, and they will just give you fresh curry leaves all year round. So while that is happening, I'm going to put an entire bunch of dhania into my mixer. All right, so we've washed that. We've taken out the roots, and I'm going to stick that in there. And then the herb of choice today for our fish biryani is our mint. So any kind of mint. We've got a mixture of spearmint and peppermint from our garden. And I'm just going to put in almost a cup of mint into our chopper. Yeah, that's good.
Is that it?
One more. We just want the ilachi just to sort of
so it
release.
doesn't get stuck in your...
Right. So that's done. Thank you. Right. So we have our little chopper at hand.
Okay,
all of our spices in there.
That. What do I do with this?
So you do nothing with it. You just keep it ready. And I've got all of the rest of my herbs here.
What are you looking for?
I was just checking to see if I had some time. If you have some time, that's also wonderful.
It's about 10 o'clock.
So there we go. You're going to put this in here and you're going to...
but my hands are full because I'm holding on to this and waiting.
Let me help you with that then. There we go.
Right.
So I'm just going to mix this up. Right. That should help. Ooh, lovely. As you can see, lots of muscle here. Right. I think that's done. Oh, that looks wonderful.
Yes.
So, wow. So, as you can just see from the outside, pick this up. So let me remove this. It's finely minced. So, and the onions are beautifully browned. Okay. And so what we're going to do now is just add some garlic.
Oh, so I don't put this in?
No, not yet.
Wow, look how lovely the onions.
Oh, onions are all beautifully browned. You need to cover that with
the
10 chilies. I've got ginger and garlic, a teaspoon, and I'm going to put 2 teaspoons of garlic in there. And I have here some chili powder, well, masala actually. I'm putting 2 tablespoons of chili powder.
And 5 chilies.
Yes.
Oh.
I have a little bit of garam masala, 1 teaspoon of that. And I'm going to put 1 teaspoon of coriander powder. And I have some turmeric, and I'm going to put maybe 2 teaspoons of turmeric. Right, so let's give this a little bit of a mix. It's always essential just to make sure that your spices roast a little. Right, it does help to have that beautiful tomato roasting in here so it doesn't start to burn and dry out. And there's our beautiful greens that I'm going to throw in here, nicely chopped greens. So I won't liquidize this because the problem with liquidizing is that you get a very green curry. So as you can see, there's our little bits of green. Oh, smelling so good. Can you just get some pepper in here? And while Koobeshen's getting the pepper, there's the spice that we have ground, that we've roasted and ground. And as you can see, it is not entirely all ground up, and that's perfectly fine. I'm just going to drop that into our mixture. Quite a lovely bit of pepper. Oh, nice.
You can see
so I would say like a teaspoon. Yes, that ilachi is for you.
Oh, yeah.
And then I have here an entire can of soft cherry tomatoes. So just chopped tomatoes, which I'm going to throw in there. Ooh, nice. All right, I'm going to give this a lovely mix. And then can we add some salt into this beautiful mixture? All right, do you want to give me a spoon?
Teaspoon.
So I think I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of salt in here. And when you want to, you can just have a little taste. 1, 2. Remember, I'm salting for the fish as well. Thank you, sir. Right, so there we go. Ooh, that looks really lovely. So you can see quite a chunky gravy here for our fish to settle in. And now I'm going to add some yogurt. So I have a cup of yogurt in here. I'm just going to throw that in.
Wow. That changed the whole thing.
A good mix.
This is like you're making fish curry.
Well, similar to any biryani, but very tomato-based when it is fish biryani. And then we are going to get to our, while that is simmering, there's our fish all done here. I am just going to put some pepper on that. Can I reach over you?
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to take some of the garam masala with my fingertips. I'm just going to sprinkle it on there. All right. I've got the turmeric, and I want to get the color on my hand. So I'm just going to put a little bit of turmeric all over the fish. A little turmeric goes a long way. And last but not least, more of our beautiful chili. All right. So there we go.
Every step you added chili.
Yes, I'm just going to get some olive oil in here, just so that I could let the spice sort of settle in, make it a little bit moist. Remember, we've dried our fish out beautifully. Be careful as well for any of those bones that may actually hurt your fingers when you're patting this down. All right.
You remember that some of our grandparents' generation used to call them thorns.
Thorns, very much like a rose thorn. Well, I suppose they would have done the same kind of damage. Right, so there we go. I've patted this down, and the reason I've done this, spice this ever so lightly, is to get this into the oil and to be able to seal it. So I've got a pan on, and this is not to cook the fish. It is barely there just to seal in the fish, just so that it doesn't break. So there we go. I'm just going to pick this up and layer it down. We're going to do one piece at a time. One turn, and then put it into our gravy.
There you go.
Yeah, a fork will do. Tell me what you're doing. Can you pass me a fork instead? Thank you for your help. All right, so there's our fish, not needing to cook, just needing to turn it once. Thank you.
And put it where?
And we're going to put this into the gravy. So you can remove the spoon from there. And I am barely going to pick up the fish from there and layer it flat. We're not going to mix this now.
You're not? Okay.
Say?
I thought you were going to cut the fish.
No. lovely big pieces of fish. I'm just barely sealing it. One turn. Ooh, nice. And the minute we've turned it, oopsie. Be mindful that this will splutter quite a bit. It's hot oil. We've sealed the outside. I'm just going to put that down. I'm going to do the next piece. Oh.
You don't mix this because you'll break.
Yes, so you do want it to settle to the bottom. So you just move the spice a bit so the fish has got a lovely little resting place there. Yeah. Oopsie.
Come on, fishy.
And then I turn it over. So you can see just the outside sort of coagulates a little bit.
Remember as a kid, my brother was fascinated with fishing.
With fishing? Okay. All right. And the last one.
We used to fish in our neighbor's. He had a pond.
And what did you catch?
Fish.
Do they have fish?
Yeah,
do they know you were coming and fishing?
Sorry,
there?
Dr. Gangat.
Sorry, who?
He was our neighbor.
What is his name?
Dr. Gangat.
Dr. Gangat. Fish is missing. All right, so there we go.
And we only caught fish once, I think.
Okay.
And it was about, say, 200 meters to our house.
Yes.
And there you get Krinesh with the fish in his hand, running to go and find some water to put it in. He didn't want to eat it. He just wanted to catch it.
And keep it in a bottle in his room.
Yeah, with our tadpoles.
Your tadpoles in your room. Well, typical boys for you. So there we have the fish all settled into our gravy, looking absolutely beautiful. Look at the color and the smell of all of those lovely spices coming together.
Okay, so the rice.
So of course we've got basmati rice. As you can see, it's ever so separate. Make sure that after it steams, you give it a bit of a rinse with cold water. Usually you don't want to rinse out all of the flavor of the rice and the salt, of course. But in this case, we do want the rice to be very separate so that it's not all going to stick into one little glob. We have some boiled eggs because boiled eggs go wonderfully with a fish biryani. And of course, we have fried in advance some wedges of potato. So I'm going to just throw the potatoes in there. All right. Just let it sit in there. They're not fully cooked.
On the fish. I was so gentle.
I'm ever so sorry. So I am finding the little gaps and sort of pressing them down.
The gaps in your teeth.
Yes. So there we go. Little gap there. Just that one is a bit odd. The eggs need no cooking. I'm just going to throw them in all over. Some people actually just fry the outside of this as well, just to give it a bit of a coating. I don't care to do that. All right. And then we have a cup of boiled masoor or lentils. And this as well, black lentils. They need to be absolutely soft so that it's not going to...
So there's a lot of work that's done pre-getting it all into the pot. Right?
So I am just going to pour that in. All right. Lentils are also a superfood. Be quite wonderful to... It's really wonderful to add it into any of your dishes. It's a beautiful protein.
Those are all fish. That's so you can't do any...
Yes. So I'm just layering it on the top here. I do want it to sort of sit in the gravy so that it adds to the flavor. All right. So
is that it?
Yeah, I'm just putting 1 cup of that in there. And then, of course, we have the rice. We have steamed 3 cups of rice, but I think we're going to use 2 here for the kilo of fish. And I'm just going to pour that in. As you can see, it's just colored with turmeric and it's got the salt. All right. And I am just going to flatten this. I'm going to turn my heat on minimum just for it to start to simmer. Remember, there's a lot of weight sitting on the base of the pan. So it will, if you've got it on high, it is going to burn. All right, so there we go. Right, so that's done. I'm going to cover this, and this is just going to steam with all of that beautiful tomato and onion and spices. And this should be ready to serve in half an hour tops.
Okay, so
just so that it steams to the top.
All right. So
and we cover it and we're ready to roll.
And that's our
fish biryani all done. Hui, so that was a lot of work and it all smells absolutely divine.
Right. Let's get down to eating.
All right. So you remember the shrimp au gratin? That was potatoes, cheese, and shrimp. And of course, for your guests, you're probably just going to serve it like this with a little bit of a garnish and a side salad. But we're going to share this, okay? Because I want to save my appetite for that beautiful biryani. Just going to cut this through.
Wow. The cheese is melted very nicely.
Cheese is melted. Okay.
Yummy, yummy, yummy.
And you can actually eat off that if you want to.
Thank you. Use the same fork.
All right. And I'm going to get a salad in here.
Oh, so you're putting the salad in there.
Yes.
Okay.
And some of that delicious dressing. Go easy with the dressing.
Oh.
Okay. It's very spicy. I'm going to start with the shrimp. And I can see already that the potatoes are absolutely creamy.
Wow. That's very, very tasty.
That is delicious.
Let's take a bit with the potatoes and the cheese and the ingredients. I just tasted the shrimp.
So the thing about this is it's so creamy. The potatoes, the creaminess of the potatoes and the creaminess of that sauce all melted together under that blanket of cheese. It's just like amazing, to say the least. So there's our biryani. As you can see, unlike most other biryanis, this remains quite separate. The layers cook together. And this is not the kind of biryani you're going to finally toss before you serve. You're going to serve it in the layers.
I'll get you a spoon.
And then, of course, everybody has to dish downwards. Because you've got the layers of tomato, the fish, the lentils,
that was my line.
The eggs
dish
and the
down.
The potatoes, and last but not least, the beautiful rice. And as you can see as well, although we did not garnish the top of the rice, the liquid from the bottom literally comes up and flavors all of the layers. All right, so I'm going to give you a piece of fish.
Thank you.
And some rice.
I don't want the curry leaf.
All right. Fish and rice.
Wow.
Oh, really looks so brilliant.
It's ready.
And as I said, it's such a luxurious dish for you to serve to any guests. They're certainly going to be impressed. Oh, this fish is so beautifully done. I think also it's very important that when you're choosing a fish for a biryani, you want to see to it that it doesn't have any little bones.
Very nice.
That is so good.
Very, very nice. Wow. Oh, it's got a bit of a kick as well.
There's your 10 chilies coming in there.
Yes.
Rice is so perfectly done, all separate.
Very good. Well done, madam.
And to you, sir. Oh, it's really stunning. You got to try this at home, especially all the budding fishermen. Catch one of those wonderful fish and
make sure it has less bones.
Make a lovely fish biryani for your family. It's certainly absolutely beautiful. And if you don't have one of these pots, you just layer it in a flat pot, stick it into the oven, or cook it on absolutely low on your stovetop for about an hour. Or you can cook it in your cooking cushion. Remember the magic cooking cushions? It also just cooks everything in layers without any of the scorching or burning.
Or call Kamseela and she'll come home and cook it for you.
I will indeed.
Remember, if you have any more information or you want to send us pictures, you can do so on Facebook on Love at First Bite or Instagram, Love at First Bite SA.
And do remember, all of our recipes are on Love at First Bite, our Facebook page, or if you've missed them, there's step-by-step YouTube recipes on Love at First Bite. So go get there, get your recipes down, and try some of the lovely dishes. You'll be surprised how easy they are. Yeah. And also everybody that's written in has told us that these are flop-proof recipes. So we urge you to try them.
See you soon.
Take care. Remember, it's still social distancing. Wash your hands, wear your mask, and stay safe. We hope to see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
It began with a bold vision to build KL Metropolis, a development that would establish a new international trade and exhibition district in Malaysia, built in partnership with the government by NAZA Group's property arm, NAZA TTDI. The crown jewel of this grand vision is the Malaysia International Trade and Exhibition Centre, the preferred international destination for exhibitions and events. Like the fine gold and silver threads of the Songket weave that inspired its facade design, MyTech is the embodiment of refined craftsmanship, creativity and precision. As Malaysia's largest exhibition centre, MyTech's functional spaces are unprecedented. Primed for exceptional displays, surrounded by state-of-the-art facilities and amenities. This iconic structure affirms a commitment to innovative excellence. It is a showpiece of engineering ingenuity. an enduring icon built for a new Malaysian era of success.